Brendan, I think Brendan is chatting away on the live stream. This is where this is like some kind of live streaming podcast and inception going on right now. Brendan Dorman.
We're just trying new shit. So we roll.
Start asking questions on it that you want, then we can re-ask them. Pretty much.
Yeah, because I can't see what everyone's saying. Only Rob can.
Yeah, well, I think we're live, and again we've switched room. We're back to the original room, and not the original room as in the original studio room. We're still not quite at that point.
Rob's Freemason overlords made sure that he had his checkerboard in the background.
Yeah, yeah. That's definitely my design. That is, I requested that.
A little uneven because he's like a second degree Mason or whatever.
Yeah.
So
the people who are listening on Spotify, I will say, because we're now on Spotify. Did you know?
That's dope.
Which is cool.
So I can listen to the episode. I saw that, but I didn't try it.
Yeah, well, try it.
I listen to Spotify every day on the way to work.
Yeah, try it. Apparently, according to Noel, the Spotify stream sounds even better than usual. And I don't know how that's possible because it's the same audio file, but maybe Spotify have like these super streaming players or something like that. I don't know. It's weird.
That's awesome, though. Spotify's a good format.
It is, yeah. So if you only watch on YouTube, go check us out on Spotify. It's going to be the exact same show, but just give us 2 listens because that's cool. But if you
get to see 2 handsome motherfuckers in Noel, but
yeah, that's the only downside. But if you're also listening on Spotify for the first time, if you've somehow found us, we're actually on YouTube right now. We're in my kitchen and Brendan Dorman's bedroom.
No. This is my man cave.
This is his man cave. Okay, my man cave is my bedroom, unfortunately. But yeah, pretty much.
I'm in a 3-story. I own a 3-story house. Well, if you include this.
Sweet.
Yeah.
But we're usually in a beautiful studio, and big news potentially next week is the return to studio. Noel possibly needs to ask his wife first, but he might be back to studio next week, which would be awesome. And we might get a couple of guests.
It is more fun.
Yeah.
P.S. I want to say this. I brought up my friend Elijah a few times. My friend he does some coaching and stuff down in Ohio. Okay. Remember I brought him up to you? I don't know if you do remember.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, I remember that.
We should have him on one of the times I'm on.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's ever done this.
Okay.
So I can I know him enough to kind of lead him.
Yeah.
So just keep in mind if we'll get him on here in 2 weeks. We'll have a nice diverse crowd. We'll have Irish Americans, Black Americans, Irish people. Be a nice mixed crowd. He's friends with knows Joe Schilling and some of those cats.
Oh, nice. We'll bring Joe on as well.
There's a lot of the kickboxing, Muay Thai guys, Kevin Ross.
Sweet.
I don't know how well, but
cool.
He's got really good insight, man.
We'll definitely do that. We'll set that up. So yeah, possibly next week back on the show, but this week we're here and doing the live chat. But this is something that I'm going to do pretty regularly, hopefully once a week, and maybe Brendan will be on, maybe somebody else will be on if Brendan can't do it, but we're going to do it once a week.
I'm irreplaceable.
Yeah, you are, but sometimes you're not available,
I know, I understand.
I have no life.
I gotta make money up in this bitch.
Yeah. But today we're going to talk about anything and everything in the world of MMA. There's no big UFC card on this weekend. It's next weekend, but they're giving us 2 of them. They're giving us a tough finale, and they're giving us UFC 226, which is stacked. We can jump into a little bit of that, but I think we're going to leave the actual breakdowns of the fights till next week when Noel is hopefully back.
Especially the big card, because we're going to have to devote.
Yeah, we need to give some time.
There's at least... I think there's 3 fights that we could maybe skip. That's it. Everything else is unskippable.
Yeah, the rest is insanely good. But luckily for us, there's a lot of news. There's 2 retirements in MMA. Well, 2 big retirements. I'm sure other people have retired, but the 2 big retirements are former champions. One is Rashad Evans. He retired after his last loss. The other is Johnny Hendricks, which kind of came out of blue. It just came out today. I'm not sure. Maybe he saw Rashad Evans on the MMA, or I was like, I can do this too, and he hung up the gloves. But I know you have your opinions about Johnny Hendricks in the past, so we can.
Those 2 guys, I have the exact opposite opinions of.
Awesome, so we can get into that. Some other stuff. Conor McGregor is potentially coming back, according to 2 coaches. His own coach, who talked about Khabib fight happening this year. He thinks that it will, and awesome. Khabib's manager said that the fight is signed, which I don't really agree with. But I don't think it actually is. There's no other
I
news.
saw the interview with Ali. He didn't say it was signed.
He basically said that Conor is accepting the fight because he needs more money.
He said it. But he worded it a little more careful. But he didn't say all that. That guy talks a lot of shit.
He does. He talks a hell of a lot of shit. And then also a couple of other things. But I think where we will start will be at that. I think the Conor McGregor Khabib stuff.
Right out the gate.
Out the gate, we'll talk about that. So, your thoughts? Is the fight going to happen in 2018? I know you've been skeptical of this before, but you think it's going to happen?
Well, when I first said I was skeptical of it was when Khabib came back. You know, so we're going back. His fight with Horcher, I don't have it in front of me, but God, over a year, right? At least, maybe about 2 years.
Sure.
So when he came back to fight Horcher, which Ferguson was supposed to fight, everyone gives Khabib shit, but Ferguson's missed 2 of them. So I think that's tit for tat. And he called Khabib a pussy in the media today, which is the probably opposite of what he is, of all things. Like, he can lose, Tony can beat him, but it won't be a pussy issue. My thoughts are, I don't know why Ali would say that, honestly. Why say that? I get the gangster part. I get that. But the money part, like, is that possible? Is coke that expensive? I mean, I didn't mean that. Like, what could he have? I understand he likes cars and all this nice shit, but he's worth over $100 million as far as I know.
It's really hard to tell if he's actually run out of money. But like, if you have private jets bringing you back and forward across the states and
with
friends. A few times for court cases where you're probably paying money for that. I'm sure you're burning through some cash. But he also has a lot of other things as well going on, so I'm sure he's not short of it. But maybe he is Conor McGregor short of it, if you get me.
Yes, I totally get. Yeah, him taking a $3 million hit isn't the same as me taking a $3 million hit. You know, like, so whatever it is, 10 million. I mean, who knows, right? If I don't think he owns that private jet. I think he rents it. But either way, they're not cheap, right? So it's possible. I think him fighting Khabib is about more than money, though. No matter what happens here, because here's the thing about my prediction, or whatever you want to call it. I'm hoping to be wrong. I don't want to be right. I'd much rather eat crow or whatever. Say, you know, come up with the worst saying, and them fight than be right and say "told you so." I'm not interested in "told you so."
Sure.
Everything I say is never to say "told you so." Otherwise, I'd pick way more often. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. The "told you so" game to me is like, I don't know. I feel like I left that in 7th grade. I try to anyway. Yeah. Sometimes if someone's a complete asshole, then I'll play that game, but that's not it. So this year, they better, because if they don't, I don't see when the fuck they will. Yeah. It's got. I mean, does it have to be this year's? No, but it's got to happen. I mean, it kind of does. Yeah.
It's got to happen, right?
Yeah. I think they're gonna put it on in a good slot. So I could see it either waiting out till like the New Year's-ish card. Yeah. Or they just know that it's going to be such a behemoth that they don't even have to worry about when or who. Yeah. Just put them two on, you know? Yeah.
One thing I didn't say...
That fight's as big as it gets.
Yeah, one thing I didn't say off the top of this chat is this, again, this is a chat. This is different from the show. We want people to jump into the comments there and give your opinion. We'll call them out. We'll answer them. Or answer your comments. We'll answer your questions and comment on your comments. So get in there. We can see a few coming in. A couple of things come in about the fight. Blah, 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 blah. He's not out of money. That's Ali trying to talk shit. Possibly. It could, like,
that's what I said.
Exactly. The manager of the opponent, should be trying to get the other guy to take the fight, and maybe that's one way he's trying to get Conor to take the fight.
I think that's all. I think it's gamesmanship. Yeah. To Ali's credit, as much as he talks shit, how many managers get on the mats every day with killers? Yeah. So to his credit, he at least gets that. I'm not going to give him a lot more credit than that. That guy seems a little sketchy to me.
Shady, yeah.
Where Khabib doesn't, I just love his character. I love the story. I like his dad's a bad motherfucker. But Ali just, I don't know who else he manages. Something's off about that.
A lot of people. He manages a lot of people.
Frankie Edgar. I mean,
yeah, man.
Like the ultimate, like, baby face.
Yeah, they seem like...
X-Pac Heat, remember?
X-Pac Heat,
Remember we were talking about X-Pac Heat?
Yeah.
Frankie's the ultimate, like, baby face.
Oh, yeah. He's Captain
Right?
America. He's Hulk Hogan in
face.
the 80s.
Yeah, like eat your prayer. I mean, eat your prayers. Eat your vitamins, say your prayers. Eat your prayers. They're delicious.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know what I'm saying. Frankie doesn't say the wrong thing too often. He's very rarely like c-wordy to people. You know, that's the first time I've ever stopped from swearing.
Why? You can't
so
swear.
for him to manage him too is weird. I don't know why I did. I really don't. I really don't. I'll just say cunt now. So because we can. Yeah. It's the internet. But for, you see what I'm saying. So if he manages him, you can't then put it on Khabib how Ali acts. I don't think. I think he's just trying to stir up interest, and you know, obviously Khabib's not Conor, but he's approaching rock star status.
Yeah, especially in Russia.
I think it's just that. I can't imagine that he's broke. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It seems ridiculous. You know, can these legal fees be that?
Yeah, there was a couple of comments about Ali in the comments, and basically saying that he is a good manager, and that is true. Like from all we've seen, the guys that he has managed have got the big platforms. They have got the big fights. So, like, when you talk about Frankie Edgar being a client of this guy who's clearly shady, you have to look at it from Frankie's perspective, thinking, well, this guy has done so much for me. Maybe I don't really care about the shit that, you know, he's in the news for.
Oh, you've worked a couple of jobs in your life, no?
Sure, yeah.
So some of the best, I was just thinking about this in a different context the other day, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was similar in the fact that the discussion was essentially, I know what it was, but I'm not going to bring it up because I don't feel like dealing with the fallout. It's not MMA related, though. Anyway, you want an effective guy in that kind of a position. It doesn't. The rest is all kind of semantics. Listen, you don't want him to be some disgusting, you know, diddler, Jimmy Savile, right? Is that the UK's version of a diddler? Yeah. That disgusting piece of shit.
Diddler just reminds me of It's Always Sunny. You know, Frank Reynolds just talking about diddling. Do you not watch It's Always Sunny?
No.
Oh man, get on that shit.
Sorry.
You'll love it.
So, like, no, diddler, you know, like the worst criminal in the world to me. Like, that's as bad as it gets, right? So, like, you wouldn't want that guy, right? Minus that and a few other things, you can kind of just go, I'll blind eye it. I don't really give a fuck how a man makes a living, or a woman, whatever. I don't care. What the fuck is it? What does that mean to me? So if he's effective as a manager, right? You think of a workplace, right? Sometimes you have effective managers that when they get out of work are probably psychopaths maybe at work, but they're effective as leaders or managers, or they're effective with money.
They're good at the job.
It is. He's very good at his job. That's kind of undeniable.
Yeah.
I think he gets points, and this will tie in with the work thing. I think he gets points for the aforementioned, is that he does train. He's a good grappler by all accounts.
Yeah.
You know, he gets on the mats with those guys. He looks like he's got some Mexican supplements handy, whatever. He's not in the USADA pool. Results are results, man, right?
Yeah.
You can't, at some point you got to go, oh, there's that.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not anti the guy. I don't even know him.
Yeah. Speaking of, I suppose, not managers, but somebody who's in the corner of one of the fighters, John Kavanagh was at the Robin Black one-man show that was in Ireland, and they were talking about Conor's potential next fights. And this was the one where John Kavanagh said that he does believe that Khabib and Conor will happen before the end of 2018, and he said he'd bet almost anything on it. So you'd have to assume that, you know, there is some kind of discussion.
20 seconds and knockout for Conor?
Huh?
What, 20 seconds?
He didn't pick.
Knockout?
He didn't pick. No, not this time. But he also said, and we can talk a little bit about this, and I'm sure that you're not a huge fan of it, is that he does think that the Nate Diaz fight is the best fight they can make in a way, which, you know, he thinks that's the best one. The reason he gave is because when Conor and Nate fought, he said that Conor's ability is to shut guys out really early, and Nate kind of walked through that for 3 rounds, and he just thinks the match is stylistically a great match. That was his reasoning, pretty much. He called him a Homer Simpson head.
He's not. He's a pea head.
Yeah.
He's got a tiny head. Khabib, on the other hand, is a fucking pit bull head.
Yeah. I think the Homer Simpson head was more so. Remember the Homer Simpson, the episode of The Simpsons where he becomes a boxer and he just keeps getting hit in the face?
Oh, is that what he meant by it?
I guess so.
Yeah, but he clipped Conor in the first fight a lot.
Yeah.
He's not a punching bag, but he is not Khabib.
He's not Justin Gaethje.
Yeah, but he gets knocked out too.
Yeah.
Khabib's never stumbled. Do people realize the monumental accomplishment of that guy? The monumental. You can talk record and all that bullshit. What is Conor's record? Sparkled on the glittery path to gold. No, he's got some fucking layups in there. Marcus Brimage, etc. So they all do. Tony Ferguson had a harder road than anyone.
Well, to be fair though, if playing devil's advocate, so has Khabib. Khabib has had some easy fights, even in the UFC. Like the Daryl Horcher fight. The Daryl Horcher fight was an easy fight, but that was late notice.
He didn't do this like Conor did a few times.
Yeah.
He destroys everyone. He hasn't lost a round. He's never been on bad legs.
But remember he was wobbled. Remember he was wobbled by Michael Johnson.
I have debunked that 400 times.
I'm joking.
And then I knew because I talked to Michael Johnson. Don't forget I know him.
Yeah.
And Michael Johnson then did an interview, and it was like, thank you for saying publicly what you said privately. I couldn't disclose that. I couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Right? Because he told me that in confidence through someone else. And then what's his name asked him on Roasted. I think Adam something.
Yeah. Hunter.
He's a funny dude. I like him. He was on MMA Roasted, and he's like, nah, man. He's like, I didn't catch him like that. It's like he was right back pressing at me.
Yeah. Do you know what it is though?
The guy that punched him.
Your theory of people not getting the crazy accomplishments that Khabib has earned or has got, I think that could be wrong because the way people look at Khabib, like when he has a fight that's even that's not completely 100% dominant for the whole fight, people are like, oh, that was a bad performance. Just like the last fight, it's like that was a bad performance. So I think people know
the 5-round shutout. I know. Fucking bum.
Yeah. So I think people know.
1 day notice. 1 day notice.
Yeah.
Remember Tony Ferguson versus Veneta? Was
Great
almost
fight,
an oops.
Yeah.
Now remember. Now think of that. Right, and he wasn't even in the UFC until that fight, right, Veneta? And then I think
that was his debut.
Now,
yeah.
I'm not saying Horchers is good. He's not now. No. You know that now. But it's hard to prep for somebody with 1 day. Sure. Is the point. And so Al certainly now fits in that category of a guy with 1 day, tough to kind of game plan for when you've been planning for Ferguson, then Max Holloway. So your brain had to go shift, wicked shift. You know, that's not easy in itself, and it was still 5-round shutout, never in question for a second. I mean, come on. Al landed like two clean right hands. One kind of grazed his shoulder. I mean, that's 25 minutes of fighting.
Yeah.
It's absurd. Like, where's the bar stop rising? Yeah. What do we want from him? What does everyone want? He's the most dominant guy on route to championship ever. Yeah. Ever. Now we can say layups, and then if he beats I don't know about when, but if he beats Conor, if they fight, let's say he does. Let's assume he does. Then what? Is it excuses or is it congratulations?
But isn't it very, very similar to what happened with Conor himself? Like when Conor was fighting, say the Chad Mendes of the world, or even before that. And people were like, oh, no, it's just easy fights. And maybe he got an easier road. But, like, even after the Aldo one, people were like, oh, no, 7 seconds or whatever it was. He got lucky. And it still happened. But this happens with...
I didn't say that.
Yeah, no. But this happens with, like, a lot of the, I suppose, best fighters in the world when they're coming up. A lot of people are like, no, he's not tested. He didn't fight this type of guy.
No. Here's why. Because I got to play devil's advocate, but it's based on fact. When Conor lost to Nate the first time, what was the talking point?
Late notice.
One of them. What was the other one?
The weight class.
Let me just tell you.
Weight class.
Well, that was bullshit. That's a lie. I mean,
that was a talking point.
That was one.
Yeah.
That was the lie one. Now the true one, it was true, but it was a horse shit of a talking point. Was let's talk about how graceful Conor was in his defeat.
Sure, that is very true.
Give me a fucking break with the horse shit Khabib he did a round where he wanted to throw some jabs and work on his footwork, fucking around, and now his stock should drop drastically. Conor loses, and we should talk about how magically delicious he was, like Lucky Charms, after losing, because he said he used his energy better than I did. He's now like some soothsayer. I fucking hate talking points. Everyone takes this wrong to mean I hate Conor, I hate X person, I hate people that I like. I don't hate anyone. I hate parakeeting. I hate when people hear something and go, yeah, I heard it on this podcast. Now it's my point of view.
Yeah, that is something that's something you did talk about quite a bit. Just jump into the chat because there was some comments about this and something that you can comment on. Let me see. One big one. I'll get to that one, but this one here, Nick0424, strictly speaking about rankings, doesn't Ferguson versus Conor make more sense, assuming Ferguson's healthy?
No, because there's no story.
Yeah, but I suppose rankings wise, like I get it in a way, like because
rankings wise,
Conor was the champ.
Never lost.
Yeah,
Tony's got like 8 losses. Give me a fucking break. What? Rankings?
I suppose the reason would be that Conor's been out so long, and technically probably he shouldn't be ranked based on how long he's been out.
Then use the argument of Tony Khabib, not Tony Conor.
Yeah.
Right? Khabib's the champ.
Yeah.
He is, like it or not. He is.
Yeah, I don't know if you're getting the question. So he said that wouldn't...
Say it again.
Instead of Conor versus Khabib, wouldn't Ferguson versus Conor make more sense based on rankings?
Oh, and the winner gets Khabib?
I suppose.
It's too much time off. Then who fights Khabib? Who fights the champ? The person that's going to get the most shit for taking time off of the 3 right now is Khabib. You know this. We went over this. Yeah. For people that watch every week, I've already explained why, too. Right? If one person... Tony's got a horrible injury, so I get it on that regard. Yeah, Conor's been out 2 years, dude. Why?
Money?
Because
has money.
If he wanted to fight, he can fight. So when one's a religious thing that he didn't ask to be indoctrinated into, he was born into it. So that's one person's reason, and the other one is, I didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
I was in Vegas with some hookers.
I wonder, just on the Ramadan thing, I wonder if Khabib would, if Khabib was at welterweight, I wonder if he would actually fight through Ramadan, because there is fighters that do it. Bilal Muhammad, I know he fights through Ramadan.
Remember we talked about it?
Yeah.
He's the only one that I know of that does. Maybe there's another one at that level. Yeah. No champions have ever done it. I don't know, man. I don't understand Ramadan enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I know it's really hard on your body because of the fasting.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a bad idea if you're a champion.
Sure.
Because how long is it? Like 4 months?
Yeah, it's a long time. Like,
just schedule around it.
Fasting's really good for you, but like
intermittently.
Not craziness. Months. And plus, they also fast from water, don't they? They don't drink any water either, which is
nothing. Not even water.
Here's one here. Nola's in the chat. He's made his return to the chat. Get off Khabib's nuts, Dorman. Conor,
they're massive.
Conor sleeps him.
About the size of anything.
Conor sleeps him within 7.2 seconds.
I will sleep Noel in less.
That's funny.
He better do that, because that's if it goes longer, he is fucked. I want to see that brown belt that he doesn't know how to tie.
Holy shit! Shit's going down. I can't wait for the return now next week. This should be fun.
Let him.
Hopefully. Auto Road on a Conor.
There are people saying he's going to submit Khabib off his back.
I don't know. We'll get to that. Conor fight is fun, but I really want to see Khabib get smashed by Lee or Ferguson. He has no chance versus both of them. The same guy also said that he thinks Kevin Lee's a bad matchup for Khabib.
Yeah, he is, because he's going to be in a new weight class any day now.
Yeah, man.
Well, yeah, I'm friends with Dewey Cooper, Mr. X.
Yeah.
He's not going to be 155 anymore, so don't get too excited.
Do you think that's definitely going to happen? 170?
Yeah, it's already.
Yeah, pretty much.
Been decided upon, because he's on death's door the last 3 or 4 weight cuts.
Yeah, it's insane.
Hence the 165 call out. He's easing his way into 170. That's all.
Yeah.
He has to. He can't make 155, so he can't fight Khabib.
It's scary, and I'd say I'd say he also looked at like the Darren Till video and all that kind of stuff, and was like, holy shit, at some point that's going to happen to me, and I don't want that to happen to me.
Although the next day, that was suspicious. You hear what Whitaker said too?
No.
He said he felt like concrete the next day.
Oh, Yoel. Yoel. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And I said, remember the night of the fight? I said that.
Yeah.
While they were fighting, I'm like, you will never convince me that a 41-year-old guy
possibly
pulled this off and is taking this kind of damage tonight. There's just
it's crazy,
no
isn't
way.
it?
Not naturally.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. I can see it, but there's no way that is whey protein and jogging.
Yeah, bit of pre-workout. Andrew Gamble, I'm sneaking this in at work while I'm waiting for another customer, and Dorman's on a fucking roll.
Always. That's how I fucking roll, on a fucking roll. I'm just... everyone understand I'm just fucking with you. Yeah. I love Conor. I'm Irish.
Yeah, he is. He actually does. Like, I think Brendan plays...
Conor McGregor.
Yeah, and you're also a realist, so you do feel that Khabib's a bad matchup for Conor, so you're not going to sugarcoat that.
I've said that for 3 years. As soon as he started talking 155, I said that.
Yeah.
But I was worried about Khabib's health. But Khabib stayed healthy now for 2 years. We can chalk him as healthy. Yeah. I think Ferguson's a harder fight for Khabib.
Do you think so? Mm-hmm. I don't.
You don't?
No.
Because of the first round versus Lee?
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. That does go into. I just think that Tony Ferguson forever, and I think he's improved it, but I think Tony Ferguson forever he's not like Sergio Pettis, we talked about that before, but he likes to play rubber guard, and he likes to play guard, and I don't know if that's a good idea against Khabib. I just don't think Conor would.
If you even see him do rubber guard, he loses.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Although which one was it?
That will not work against Khabib.
No, it wouldn't.
Did you hear Khabib? Like, he thinks he can wrestle because he trains with Eddie Bravo. That was hilarious to him. Here's the thing about 10th Planet is, yes, if you are on your back and you have it down like Eddie does, or his real high-level guys, the Martinez guys, like Richie and forget the other guy. They were like break dancers. Gio?
Okay.
Freakazoid or whatever. And then he's got a couple other guys that are like very, very high level. Those guys rubber guard, right? But that's also in competition jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's
we
different.
have not seen very many people in MMA, besides Tony to some extent, but he's doing a lot with Darce chokes. He could have learned that from Jeff Glover.
Yeah.
Or name the guy, Darce, Joe Darce. Like dude, Khabib is going to tear through. You ever see Marcelo roll with Eddie Bravo?
I think I might have seen the video.
Do whatever you want. And I bet you Khabib could kind of hang with Marcelo. I don't know about tapping him or anything, but that's without strikes.
How big is Marcelo actually?
Tiny.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, he's tiny. Eddie's tiny. Eddie's like 5'6".
Yeah, he is small.
Marcelo's probably 5'7"-ish.
Yeah.
I've seen him. I've never rolled with him though. I heard it's an experience. Yeah, I've rolled with other
You're still alive, aren't you?
Guys people know. And I just hear his grip and his squeeze is out of control. Like he goes real slow with it, and if you don't tap, then you just start feeling the oh boy.
Yeah.
You start seeing those little stars in the corner.
Yeah.
I'd love to roll them.
Yeah. Andrew Gamble also said in relation to Ramadan, 30 days no food, water, sunrise to sunset. Ouch.
30 days?
30 days no water or no food from sunrise to sunset.
You know how I look at that though? Very easy to schedule around.
Suppose, yeah.
If it's only 30, I thought it was longer, so that's
Khabib,
good.
Get the finger out.
Thanks, Andrew.
Get training.
I know Andrew. He comments on my channel.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, what a dude. Good dude. Quickest, I'm not sure what the question is here. Quickest first round takedown, Conor versus Khabib. I'm not sure if that was a statement or a question.
They'll tell you. Give them a sec.
Yeah, come back with that
I'm
one.
curious
John Ski 1. Come back with that. Is that a question or is that a statement?
Quickest takedown in the first round. Yeah, well, I don't want to give anything away that I might know, but do you really think remember we made fun of it? Like, Conor's not going to try, a Haraya Gochi or an Uchimata
Yeah.
And you're not going to see Khabib out going bladed. They're going to fight their fights. It's
exactly, yeah.
I think Conor might think that a knee or an uppercut might slip through, but I think Khabib's going to fight tall like he did against Johnson.
But isn't that the great thing about this fight?
Yes.
The discussion about the fight, about what's going to happen, how are they going to approach it? Make the damn fight.
I'm not an idiot. To think it's this predetermined outcome is insane. I think most people, the craziest Khabib time people versus the craziest
Khabib
internet troll / Conor fans people, there's two opinions and not much middle, man. It's either Conor's gonna fucking smoke him. That's it.
Yeah.
It's gonna smoke based on zero evidence of Khabib being smokable, right? But okay, neither was there with Aldo, so it's fair in a way. Although Aldo's head is literally half the size of Khabib's, and it does matter. I mean, that's science. Secondly, Khabib fans think that it's gonna be a mauling. It could be either of those. Could it be somewhere in the middle? Sure, absolutely. So that is fascinating within itself. Is it in the gray area or is it the black and whites?
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting.
What a damn fight.
I'm looking forward to that fight more than maybe any ever.
Anything.
I think. Yeah, I don't think there's a two. That's one. I think that's number one.
I agree.
Yeah.
Johnsky came back and said that was a statement.
I should fly over there for that.
Yeah.
Although I'll get fucking killed.
Yeah. Johnsky one said that was a statement, so his statement that it would be the quickest first round takedown, I guess, in UFC history. Maybe. I don't know. What about?
I'll add an addendum. If true, it's over early.
Really?
Yeah, because there's no sweat yet.
I suppose. Yeah, I suppose.
Dry. No way. He won't get up.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on what kind of takedown, is it like right against the cage, you kind of single legs him a little bit?
Randy Couture. Yeah, Randy Couture, James Toney ankle pick.
Khabib does those better than Randy.
Sure. But
we'll see. Conor knows how to defend him, though.
That ankle pick, though, was like, I don't think Randy Couture would have pulled that off against many, many people in that division at the time.
That's what I'm saying. Conor knows how to defend it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
He pretty much just fell on his leg.
Threw an uppercut while he was on the way down.
There's also some discussion. Before I actually move on, do us a favour, everybody in the chat, go share this on Twitter if you're on Twitter, Facebook if you're on Facebook, MySpace if you're on MySpace, whatever.
Reddit, we usually get the most interaction.
I think it's up on Reddit already. I put up on Reddit.
Okay.
All
right.
But yeah, a couple more things on Conor versus Khabib. Khabib admitted to never using a nutritionist until last fight. Lee admits the same. I say we give him a chance. So I guess he means give Lee a chance at making 55 with a proper nutritionist. But
remember what I said like 4 weeks ago about Lee, about his weight, his body mass index, his BMI?
Oh yeah, it's really low, is right?
Yeah. In fight night, he's what, 7% body fat?
Yeah.
He's like 25.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think it's that.
He'd have to shed a lot of muscle, wouldn't he, to actually?
Yep.
Which is going to be, you're going backwards almost.
That's his thing. He's explosive. He's super strong, he's fast too. Khabib has way more in his toolbox on the ground, but Lee is just as explosive, if not more. So it's a fascinating fight. Just don't plan on seeing it. The guy can't make weight. Khabib didn't have the weight. Khabib missed weight twice. It's not exactly the same.
Do you foresee Khabib ever going up to 70?
No. I think Khabib wants to have a couple more. He said about the George fight. They're friends, though. So who knows? I think he's got to fight Tony and Conor, assuming he wins the first of the two. Assuming that's Conor especially, but he's got to you can't not fight Tony after all of that. And I know people are like, a fifth time, we're going to try to run it back, but I think so let's say he fights those two, unless someone really emerges as a threat. Let's say Kevin Lee does somehow start making 155, which I don't think he will, but let's say he does. Then I think, he's got to do that, and then I think he's going to go out, man. I think he's going to retire undefeated. Wow. Be the first guy ever.
Yeah, he seems like a guy.
That's a tall task.
Yeah, he really does seem like the guy who will go out on his terms whenever that's gonna be.
The Barry Sanders move, we call it. Barry Sanders was one of the best running backs in NFL history. He quit in his prime or retired in his prime.
Okay.
So that kind of a thing,
Yeah, I think so. Andrew Gamble, Ferguson is a harder fight. That word striking and his nasty guard. I'm just a terminal blue belt. Okay.
You're a blue belt, dude. You know you know more than most.
Yeah. So he thinks that Ferguson's a harder fight. I disagree, but it's.
I think so. I think so too, but like in a different way. I just think it's more interesting. I think we kind of know that the gray area is unlikely with Khabib. You see Conor in like top positions, or sweeping Khabib. Like we know what to expect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tony does have a tricky guard. It's offensive because the elbows, especially, and the way that he creates space and how long he is. So all those things. But it's not going to be a rubber guard in the triangle like you pulled off on Kevin Lee. And that's the difference in grappling. Because no one's seen Khabib tap. I feel like a broken record at this point. When no one has seen a guy tap, I mean, that is
and that's
so
legit,
uncanny.
isn't it?
Yes, and that's from Cormier's mouth. That's from Javi Vasquez. That's from all of his training partners. That's from Cain, Velasquez, Luke Rockhold, and then Volkan told me that he had heard it from Luke because they train together. I mean, dude, at some point someone will go, no, I tapped him. If someone made a claim that, what would be outrageous, but it's real from every account I can find,
And I guess as well, I don't think Khabib is silly. I don't think he's the type of guy who will get caught in something and his pride will take over and he's not going to tap. I think it's legitimately that just nobody really gets that close to actually get the tap.
RDA, Michael Johnson both tried arm and guillotines against him. His calmness in that hold. RDA is a black belt, His calmness to wait to then post or to frame and then post his head out up to posture. I mean, he didn't panic at all. That stuff is like you and I walking upstairs to him. You got to remember that. He's been doing all this since he was 5.
Yeah.
There's no thinking. It's relaxation. It's paramount.
Yeah. Andrew Gamble, rubber guard opens up your face with your arms tied up.
Yep. And Khabib's too strong. He'll have power right.
Yeah.
Bro, do you know rubber guard at all, or how to defend it?
I didn't do a no. When I grappled it,
if I could show you, I would. But I couldn't Eddie's rubber guard. I don't know how I do, but a regular a purple belt's rubber guard, I can get right through it.
Yeah.
It's just there's things that'll catch me, but give me a week, I got it.
Yeah. I suppose the one thing that you can say about Ferguson is that, and this is a debate that people have had with rubber guard a lot. I've watched Joe Rogan talk about it. I've watched a lot of guys talking about rubber guard, and the one argument is that it does work for some people, but not all people. If you're really flexible, you can make it work, and Tony Ferguson can make it work, although we do have the evidence that he hasn't really made it work to a great extent in MMA just yet. Like, he's done good against some good guys, but not at that high level.
The only time we saw it where it looked buttery smooth, even in the Lee fight, was the 4th attempt. Yeah. And I think Lee don't forget he had staff visibly. Yeah. Right. So who knows? Who knows what he had left in him when he did that nice triangle where he didn't move the arm. He instead adjusted and kept the arm where it was and just got the hold tighter. I broke that down in the Ferguson breakdown. It was wonderful how he did it. But that's the only evidence we have. He gets Darces from scrambles usually. He tried an arm bar, and Lee did a hitchhiker or reverse hitchhiker escape and got out of it. He also got full mount. If Khabib gets full mount, you are in deep shit.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, Kevin Lee was getting off balanced in mount. He'd go to punch too hard. Khabib doesn't do that. He'll take your wrist as you're here defending, and he'll peel it into elbows, which is something I've been doing forever, but teaching anyway. Because in Amis in my state, you can't do that. You can't elbow on the ground, or you can't elbow, period. But it's such a great technique. It's like what Jack Slack used to call the Dutch hand trap, and I used to call peeling because that's how I learned it. Yeah. But I think more people know it by Jack's term, so I succumbed.
Then what about the oblique kick, Brendan?
I say it. I say oblique kick, and then I always add an addendum. Those are two people I respect so highly. I love Jack. Is so good. He's
good.
So fucking good.
And he's entertaining.
He's excellent. He's not in my, like, when I say coy shit about weak ass breakdowns, he is not in that list, I assure you.
Yeah.
And Rogan knows his shit too. And when I critique him, it's just because I'm jealous that he has $100 million.
Yeah, that's true.
And I haven't been on a show yet.
And I don't think Jack Slack has that. I doubt it, but you never know.
No. Jack's doing like I am.
I don't get fanboy around many people that much, but he did comment on one of our video, not our video, on a tweet one time. He retweeted and said that you guys put on a great show, and I was like, oh, thanks, Jack.
Was I on?
I can't remember. I'm not sure. He might have been. I think it was around a similar time that he gave you a shout out on his show when he was talking. I remember that. It was a similar enough time, so possibly.
Yeah, and I give him. There's certain guys I give credit. Him, Lawrence, BJJ, Scout, Modern Martial Artist. I did that when I sucked. I always credited everyone. Yeah. And then a couple of them went a little squirrely on me, so I stopped. But Jack's always been a gentleman to me. We had one perceived beef by fans, but it wasn't. We squashed it in about a minute.
Okay.
Because he just hit me up like, he's like, "What do we have? A Twitter beef? What's going on here?"
Can you explain what that was? It's obviously not true, but.
Yeah, well, I know what it was about. We both did a Stephen Wonderboy Thompson breakdown, but I wasn't talking about Jack Slack.
Oh, okay.
I was talking about somebody else. There's a lot of people that rip people off. It wasn't him. Okay. You get what I'm saying? So I explained to him, and I'm like, about time you fucking reach out, dickhead. But it was fun. We were being fun, you know. Cool. He's great. Anyway, moving on.
Keep the questions coming. There's actually loads here we're going to have to get through, but we're going to get through them. Keep it open. Black Guys Production said he finally caught a stream. He's been saying this for a long time. He keeps coming in after the stream's happened, and he's finally here, so that's fun.
There's
he also said...
people, him and Valeria.
Yeah. He also said, has Noel fallen off the face of the earth? No, he hasn't, but he will be back. He will be back, possibly next week. Yeah, he's going to. He's looking after a little baby girl at the moment.
He had a girl? I thought he had a son.
He has a son, and he had a girl.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Let me see what's here. So Nick0424. It seems that Khabib is ultra orthodox and has all the grappling answers. Ferguson seems like he'll run into grappling traps. Is that realistic, or am I totally off?
Hey Nick. Yeah, Nick has good jiu-jitsu. I know Nick.
Cool.
He knows. He's right.
Yeah, I agree.
He's right. I mean, there's not much to add to that.
Yeah, no, that's a sound
sometimes
piece
the
of
conventional
analyst.
Like, you ever see GSP like in his absolute, what's his prime? What would you say? Alves?
GSP?
Yeah, Alves. Like, where was he? When did he peak? Would you say?
Yeah, I think around Alves. Yeah, that makes sense.
UFC 100. He just was so, or BJ Penn 2, maybe, you know, like one of those that era, right?
Alves sticks out to me. It does.
It does to me too, because Alves was like 210 that night.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And he was killing everybody. Yeah. That wasn't named George St. Pierre, right?
He got a shite top.
So if you watch that fight again, George is, I mean, first of all, he stands up and kickboxes with him for like 2 rounds, but he's not doing anything fancy on the ground. It's just dominant.
Yeah, it's positional.
Like, it doesn't have to be fancy. Fancy groundwork to me, what's beautiful sometimes is the fluidity of things like Damian Maia's back takes. But they're not anything I don't know. I know what he's doing. I just can't do it that well. Like, not the way he does. The way that he plays that game of chess and I do, my brain's not computing like his is.
Sure.
You know? It's muscle memory. I'll outstrike the fuck out of that guy. But, big deal, right? It doesn't mean shit. It's like, but his grappling's beautiful. Khabib's, you learn his ground striking. I mean, it's a sight to behold. It's masterful what he's doing, because I think that's the Russians, the system more than just skill.
Yeah,
it's a system too, because his father's a bad dude.
Yeah, it's all that kind of positional work. You'll notice with Khabib, when he has a guy down, you can see that they're trapped. A lot of time they're trapped, and it opens up the strikes.
Yes, and notice what he'll do a lot of times is if someone's got an arm that he needs to get to, he'll start hitting the face to get him to block, to then get his arm here. Then he'll punch the ribs, and they start moving back, and then he gets the hand, moves it down with the other, one-on-one. Now that frees open, that leg extends out, but it's like, and all that happened.
Yeah.
Usually it's a strike to disrupt, you know? Like on the ground, typically, if you start getting smashed, you're going to block at some point. right? But a lot of times he's not really hitting to hit. If you notice, sometimes like in sparring, he'll hit the ground near people. I used to do that a lot too. Yeah, it's a distraction. Like you do it to distract people to get them to open up things.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's his ground game is integrated with his striking, I suppose you can say. It's very integrated.
They're Henzo says when they're at his gym, they don't hit, but they'll fake elbow each other all the time. Like their grappling and their ground striking are kind of always the same.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah, that makes complete sense. We'll move on to something else. If we want to go back to that, we can. This is open.
No, it's plenty of other shit.
The next question is a good segue to another thing that I wanted to talk about. Dan from Oregon said, isn't it now time for the UFC to launch 165 and 175 with 4-man tourneys, take the shine off Bellator's, got there finally, welterweight tournament? So this is something I wanted to talk about. Bellator announced a welterweight tournament coming up. I think it starts on the Rory MacDonald versus Gegard Mousasi card. That's obviously not a welterweight, that's a middleweight. But Bellator are actually holding a welterweight tournament in probably their best division. Would you say that welterweight is Bellator's best division?
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. So first off, before we actually answer that question, whether the UFC should do a 65, 75 4-man tournament, I guess, to introduce new titles, what's your thoughts on Bellator doing another tournament? They've done it before. They've done the heavyweight tournament, and it's currently on. What's your thoughts on a Bellator welterweight tournament?
Seems unnecessary, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
It's fun.
I'm not anti. It's kind of like, I'm not like, oh, really? Like, it's not, I don't know, cool, I guess. It's not that big a deal. They have talent there already. Let's make the right fights. Is MVP going to be in it?
Yeah.
You know?
I think so.
You almost wonder.
Yeah, based on a news report, it says that the opening round matchups are not set, but the reported contestants are likely to be Paul Daly, Michael Venom Page, Douglas Lima, Andrei Koreshkov, Rory MacDonald. Possibly.
Is it how many people?
I think it's an 8-man tournament.
It's
8-man.
like why?
I get what you mean. I think it's really fun, but I also I get like it's not like they're trying to crown some kind of champion there, which would be different. Like the heavyweight tournament.
Rory feels legit as fuck.
Oh yeah,
you know?
For sure.
It's like you don't need to. You're not creating anything. And first off, let's get MVP to fight a real guy. Right?
Yeah.
Let's start
Maybe
there.
this is the catalyst to get MVP to actually fight somebody.
If that's the case, then it's the greatest idea of all time. Because the guy, he has star power. He's very popular.
Yeah.
He's very entertaining. If he goes out and knocks out Paul Daly, his stock's going to rise substantially. What if he goes out and knocks out, say, like Lima? I don't think he will or can, but let's say he does. Watch out.
Yeah.
He could. He pretty well could. It's very possible, actually.
What's your thoughts on the UFC doing a 165 pound or 175 pound 4-man tourney to get that ball rolling on a division? Do you think it's necessary for the UFC to do that division or those divisions?
I wish they would. Here's what I thought they should have done is like a fractal increase via weight class when they stopped the USADA and kept messing with the weigh-in thing. They stopped the IV process, and then they changed the time of day, and now they're changing it. It's a mess. It's a mess. You need something that sticks and works. So I thought what they would do is probably add a couple pounds, like, 125 doesn't go to 135, but like 125 goes to, I don't know, maybe not because it'd be an odd number, but maybe that goes to 130, 135 goes to 140, like those two only go up 5, but 145 goes to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't figure it out completely in my brain, but either way, I think it's a great idea to keep 10 pounds, 10 pounds, 10 pounds, but also, just as importantly, I think there's a need for a cruiserweight division, like a 225.
I agree with that one. The jump from light heavyweight to heavyweight and the gap that you can be, it's crazy.
If you have the roster spots to make up 2 women's divisions just to say you did, you tell me you don't have enough talent to make a 225? Of course you do. You see what I'm saying? There's so much talent for that division.
Yeah. It seems like you're not very interested in the Bellator welterweight tournament, so we'll kind of move on. My dog is upstairs. I don't know if anyone can hear that. My dog's upstairs and she's scratching and she's hitting the floor.
fucking bananas upstairs. I heard him one week when we were talking. When I rewatched it, I was like, oh shit. Before we quit on that subject, I love the 55, 65, 75. I love that. I love it. Yeah. Will they do it as long as Dana and that ownership is there? Probably not. They're just, when you hear Dana go, you know what? I was wrong about that. So what we're going to do, Ronda Rousey maybe, because he went, she'll probably make me like $300 million, right? That's the only time you kind of see, and even then it was like an almost disingenuous, whereas like George's apology to Ronda, sitting right next to her, that was very sincere, because I had that conversation with him and a few others in the past about women in fighting, and it was never meant to be negative. It was actually the chivalrous nature of us to be like, it's just hard to see you get punched in the face. Sorry. But then you get used to it, I guess, you know? It's just a matter of training with him. Yeah. That was sincere what he said. He's not lying. That's a conversation that was had. Yeah. And I felt that way before, too. I'm way past it, and we're going back a long time. But I don't see Dana going, I was wrong, let's change it. It's a logistical issue, for one. It's going to be. Because who's going to go where? Who goes up, who goes down?
Here's something interesting. Somebody has given, or a couple of people have given suggestions on who should be the 65s and 55s. So you can give your opinion on this. Yeah. Dan from Oregon, who I believe was the one who asked the question. If he wasn't, then
I think isn't he the? I thought he was the first round takedown guy.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, he gave some suggestions on 65ers. Colby. I suppose give it a yes if you think that it makes sense for them to move up or not, or down.
Okay, Colby up.
Covington
down.
So that would be down. So to 65, this would be 65ers.
He's not a huge 170er.
Yeah, so it probably makes sense.
Sure. Yep.
Khabib, 65.
No.
Okay.
He's made 155 and then dot twice.
Yeah, I think Khabib is fine at 55. I think
he had to shed he had extra weight on him.
Yeah,
just had to get lean. Lean.
It happened a couple of times where it was maybe a little bit shaky about making weight, but he seems fine now. Kevin Lee, I think that's a no-brainer.
No-brainer 160. He's killing himself, man.
Yeah.
He's
GSP.
From which class though?
Yes.
Right, I know, it's
weird.
weird.
Do you think that he could sit well at 165? I think.
Oh yeah, he'd make that easy. He could make that in 2 weeks from now.
Yeah,
he's so mean right now, dude.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
I told you guys before he even made a public appearance. I told you, I'm like, dude, I just saw him. Like, I can't. I wish I could explain how I knew, but I can't. It's kind of like trade secrets. But he's very lean now.
He's doing intermittent fasting, right?
Yeah. Because the Bisping thing, he got colitis and it freaked him the fuck out.
Yeah. When I was listening to that podcast with Rogan and he was talking about that, I done more research on it and I'm trying it right now.
Are you?
Good. Yeah. I feel good.
I heard it's amazing. I should. Yeah. My fat ass.
But I'm doing more time restricted eating, so less intermittent fasting, more like I'm trying to eat within like a 12-hour window or less, which I didn't do in the past, and I feel good. It's good.
Yeah, see, I couldn't do it at nighttime because these things.
Yeah.
Makes me want to eat. So I'd have to figure out when in the day.
Late breakfast. Then you can eat.
Yeah. I think I've never heard anyone that's done it and been disciplined in it not have great results. Everyone has fantastic results. Yeah. George said it like changed his life.
Yeah.
He doesn't say that often.
That's why I tried it. Pretty much listening to him, and then I went back, and Rogan had a few other podcasts about it. Dr. Rhonda Patrick or something like that.
She's a fucking robot genius.
It's she's crazy. She's fucking smart. Very, very smart.
And he's asking her. It's not like some people can ramble on their own and sound smart. She's answering questions.
Yeah.
The same, not because I'm looking to sound smart, but I think she's like a me that wants, like, I want you to ask me. Sure. I don't want to know what you're going to ask me.
Yeah.
I just like the game,
It's good.
The element of surprise or whatever.
Yeah. Next up, Nate Diaz, 165.
Wow, he makes 155 easy.
Yeah, I think so too. Michael Chiesa.
Yeah, he looks like he should move up, but I think he makes 155 easy too.
Yeah. Paul Felder.
We're going to talk about people that struggle,
Paul Felder, he seems like he makes the weight fine too.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ever missing.
Yeah.
Maybe a pound.
James Vick.
I don't know.
He seems like a guy who could, but
yeah, by looks, same with like Chiesa. Like by looking at him, man, he looks massive. But the way people carry weight, you know, that BMI, body mass index, or whatever you want to use as a litmus test, you know, your body fat percentage, it's very different. Your bones also, your bone density. Yeah. You know.
Some others I'll just run off. James Crouch, I guess Thiago
really
Santos, Evil Cowboy. That could be a good one. He fought a 70 and 55. Seems like he struggles 55.
I'd love to see Cowboy go back down a little.
Evil Cowboy, which I guess is the Brazilian Cowboy.
We're going with Evil Cowboy now?
I don't know. I assumed.
I know that.
I didn't know it either. I just assumed that's the Cowboy he's talking about.
Oliveira, let's assume.
I assume.
Sure, but I don't know about him even struggling with weight.
Yeah.
Because they're all people that just like look the part, but not. Yeah. Kevin Lee, you know. Yeah, he's missing like ooh, ooh, right? There's certain people you're like just stop, because you know if I don't think it's a diet issue with him, man. He's so fucking shredded and young. I don't think it's that. Khabib, you could see. Remember, this was a month ago now, but I said when you look at him then versus now, he's more lean now, walking around like pre-camp, you know, or early camp. So it's just that he needed to naturally walk around leaner. That's all.
Yeah.
So the actual cut wasn't as drastic.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a weird one. It seems to be the guys that really struggle that you'd want to kind of go up.
Yeah, I just want fighters to be healthy and not, you know. The other thing is you got to remember, like, when it comes to knockouts and all brain damage and all the new CT studies, et cetera, blah, 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 there is a hydration issue, right? I mean, that's your layer between your skull and your brain or whatever, that little mucus, that's going to deteriorate when you're cutting weight. So a little chin shot, you know, might put you to bed. Easier anyway, right? So like the more that happens, you don't want everyone to end up like a Chuck Liddell or, you know, name the guy, Vanderlei Silva, who doesn't speak either Portuguese or English right now. Vanderlei Silva, he's not speaking a language. He's speaking a language.
Yeah, it's mental.
Sad.
Noel said, "What's your thoughts on Cowboy?" Said that about helping. I messed that up. What's your thoughts? Or what's your take on what Cowboy said about helping the next generation of fighters coming through? I didn't read this.
I didn't either.
I just googled it, and all I seen was that he wants to continue to test himself against the next generation of fighters. I wonder if that's it. I don't like that.
That's like self-admittance of playing gatekeeper.
Yeah, pretty much.
At first I was gonna say, great, he's gonna coach. Fucking awesome. Nope.
Yeah, maybe it's a different article.
Unless Noel chimes back in.
Yeah, Noel, let us know if you're still here.
If it means I'm content being a gatekeeper, I hate it. If it means I'm going to keep the bad motherfucker ranch going and I'm going to coach, I love it. He's a guy's guy. He's a dude's dude. He's a likable, like amiable guy, kind of guy. I'd love to see him get into coaching, man. He's learned from the best.
Yeah.
So it depends.
Why is Kevin Lee even in this discussion for a massive fight? He lost a title fight 1 fight ago. That was from Dan from Oregon.
Love you, Dan.
There's your answer. Where's Noel been? Where's Noel been? He's been looking after his newborn.
He just fucking lost.
Daughter.
Kevin Lee just lost. Agree.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad altogether.
They want kryptonite for Khabib. That's all.
Let me look for more. Andrew Gamble. Rogan gave Dorman a shout out a while back. Yeah, he did. Sure did.
I talked to him pretty often. Yeah, that was weird because the way he did it was as if like I've never talked to him privately. That was the weirdest part to me.
Yeah,
like
he's too cool. He's too cool.
I don't know. Like I don't.
Come on, Joe.
It's like I'd already been talking to him for a year.
Come on, Joseph. I
thought it was awesome.
It was
amazing. It's like, that is one of the coolest things ever. I mean, I must have got 500 text messages. Everyone that was my friend in high school is my friend again.
Isn't that a coincidence?
And I was like, maybe for you, but you're not my friend.
You were never my friend.
Yeah.
As Dana White would say.
You were never my friend. But you know how people are. They come out of the woodwork. I know who's sincere and who's not. I didn't like the insincere, like, dude, it's awesome. You don't care. And I don't either.
Yeah. Somebody asked,
yes,
Andrew
cool.
Gamble also said, by the way, do you put up a broadcast schedule anywhere? No, but we should. This is the problem. But I think the plan will be going forward, hopefully from this Monday. I think Noel will be back. And the main show, which is the show where we'll get guests and we'll do the regular show as always, that's Mondays. Or we record on Monday. That's released Tuesday morning. That's a pre-recorded thing. And then I hope to continue to do these live chats on a Wednesday. It'll be me, hopefully Brendan, maybe Noel can get some time away from the family, or we'll get somebody else if nobody's available. But it's going to be Wednesday.
I was just going to say that I've kind of lucked out to be able to do this the last couple of weeks. So
yeah, so we'll figure it out. But hopefully I'll be here with somebody on a Wednesday at probably 7:30, 8 o'clock Irish UK time, which is like what, 2:30, 3 o'clock.
It's 4:30 p.m. here.
Now. Yeah, it's 9:30 now. So figure it out.
9:30. You guys speak a different language sometimes.
Do you not? Oh yeah, 9:30.
Yeah, turkey.
I don't even say it. I say 9:30. That's the way
turkey.
I use it.
Turkey water.
Go fuck yourself, man.
I will right when we get off.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'll get off.
Need some special effects to get the drum thing.
Wax my beard.
Charles Nguyen. I think it's like Ben Nguyen. Rory's jab versus Mousasi's jab.
Wow, that's a fucking awesome question. Rory, rangier. Rory retracts it better.
Yeah.
They're both very good. Rory's, I think, has a little more pop on it. That one, they're about even actually on pop.
That's
but Rory does this thing where he lances long and retracts it back to his face this way to elbow block. So it lances and comes straight back. Gegard throws and brings back in a semicircle down, which against like a high-level boxer. So you do that against Lomachenko, you're getting slapped. Right? So Rory's is more technically sound and has more range. Power-wise, Gegard might have a slight edge, but not enough to call it better. It's very close, and I love that question.
Excellent question. I think he also asked, I think it was the same one. I guess it's you.
Question.
Charles, he also said, Mousasi breakdown in the future.
Yeah, I know. It's probably the same guy that's asked me before. Yes, I will. Especially if he beats Rory, I'm like kind of forced to. You know, he's overdue. He's someone I just haven't got to. You know, my problem with him is like, what fights do I use? His 50 fights or some shit. That's the hardest part for me, is I have to watch 50 fights before I do it. It's tough. It's easier. That's why I like doing prospects sometimes. You gotta watch like 6 fights.
Yeah.
You know, I just like Sean O'Malley's. He commented on it, which was pretty cool. I like that dude.
That was pretty cool. He seems like a nice guy.
He's such a good dude, man. Sean O'Malley's a shit. I love that kid.
Another question that came up there was, sorry, I just need to get back to it. It's very unprofessional. What's your thoughts? This is Raphael Schaefer, I believe. What's your thoughts on Al's, I assume that's Aloy Quinta's comments on Dana having lost his sense of reality? What's your thoughts?
On what Al said or what I say?
What Al say?
I support. What do you want me to? How do you want me to play it?
Play it how you want to play it.
I know. There's no rules. I agree. Listen to your fighters. I'll be a diplomat.
Yeah. It's a big debate, isn't it? This late weigh-ins thing.
Amongst fighters and Dana, yeah. All the fighters feel one way and Dana feels another.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the debate. I don't hear many fighters taking Dana's side on this one. And that's not by accident either, but that's a rabbit hole we should avoid.
Yeah, it's a weird one. We put up a thing on Facebook basically talking about this. It was Aloy Quinta's comments actually. And we asked if there's any fighters out there and what they think and what their preferred option is, the late weigh-ins or the early ones.
Make myself like rewind 10 years and I'm a fighter again. What do I think?
Yeah.
I think you made the right decision in the first place and should have kept it that way. I think because the best time to probably do your weigh-in is close to waking up as can be, and be realistic about it. Not like out of bed on the scale. That's a little unrealistic, but maybe an hour, right?
Yeah.
So the night ones are brutal because Dana's excuses, these are fighters and they're night people or they're owls. I don't know how he worded it.
Night owls.
Either way, probably fucked up, but yeah. So
is there such thing as a day owl?
No, it'd be a day cock. Like a rooster.
Okay.
Like there's first animal that came to mind that means like morning.
If this wasn't live, we'd edit that out.
That's how we roll here on Growing Pains. If anyone gets that reference, kudos to you. So if all right, the fighter in me says it was better to do the earlier ones, right? Or even coach in me.
Yeah.
And I think Dal's spot on.
Yeah.
It's insane to even think he's wrong.
Yeah. Basically, what I was saying was that we put it up and we asked fighters about it, and James Doolan, who's the coach of Stevie Ray and Danny Henry.
Yep.
Great guy. Big fan of yours as well, actually. He has mentioned that a couple of times.
Mutual.
Yeah, really good dude. But he said that his two fighters who are in the UFC right now, which is Danny Henry, Stevie Ray, they both much prefer the early weigh-ins. So.
Yeah, the one I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which all the fighters seem to like.
It should be, if it's like noon, right? Like these night owls, they're not sleeping. They're not like coke meth heads that get fucked up till 8 a.m. Like it's not that. They're not going on a bender. They're fighters cutting weight for a fight.
Yeah.
They're gonna be up at like 11. It's just not. I'm up at like 5 every day or 6. I'm up early now.
Yeah, you're a madman. You're up really early. Like yeah, I'm up for work.
You back in the day though, I was 100% the opposite.
Sure.
In my like partying days, you know. At some point, you got to grow the fuck up. Or fighting days, I guess, because they happen to coincide.
Yeah.
But it's not because of anything, you know?
By the way, you just christened yourself a new nickname, Brendan. Raphael Schaefer. Brendan Daycock Dorman.
Love it. DD cock.
Keep the questions coming in, and as I said at the start of this, we're now on Spotify. If you don't follow us on Spotify, go follow us, and also give this a share on like Facebook and stuff to get more people in here.
The more I think about that ridiculous nickname, the funnier it is.
Daycock.
Yeah, it's absurd. It's hilarious.
Oh my god.
Any jab questions? That was awesome.
Yeah, the jab question was.
I love technique questions.
Yeah. Keep them coming. Other things I had wrote down that I wanted to touch on was, and we spoke about it at the start of this stream, was the couple of retirements. There was actually 3 retirements. I'll go back up and I'll find the third one. But Rashad Evans retired from MMA. So it's easy question for you, Brendan. Do you agree with Rashad's decision?
I said it before. Yep. Before he announced that, I said, depending on what happens, and what happened was as bad as it could have been.
Yeah.
Love the guy. I don't want to see him get hurt anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a gentleman, did you listen? And a scholar.
Yeah.
No, I can't. That shit. The man in me gets weak.
As in, are you talking about the interview we done with Ariel?
Yeah.
Oh,
no
man.
interest.
That was tough.
I'll watch it in like a month.
Yeah.
I didn't know him too well, man.
Yeah.
I don't like seeing grown men emotional. Fucks with me.
It's very emotional.
I'm an emotional dude, so
yeah.
Just hard. Rumble, same way.
Yeah. No, it was very emotional, but yeah.
We're all fucking crazy. That's what makes us fight.
Yeah. Just hold it in. It's like, as Bill Burr says, you hold it in until eventually it just all comes out and
explodes. Yeah, and even then I look calm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somehow, but it's a mask.
Yeah, but man, what an excellent career the guy has had.
What a reputable guy.
Yeah.
You don't hear bad words out of mouths about that guy, man.
And he was right about John Jones.
Yep. We both found out at the same time. Right around, I started seeing what he couldn't say, and I haven't completely said publicly, but it was like, this kid's arrogant already. It was, and then what comes with the arrogance and the, bigger than the game, if you will. That whole thing, right? It's like, you're not bigger than the sport thing, that thing. But the difference between him and like a Conor is he had no one insulating him. he just has brothers that he looks up to that are making more money in around crazier shit. Make sense?
Yeah, makes complete sense.
So yeah, he was spot on. Who would know?
Yeah. So if you, this is another question. Actually, there was a couple more retirements. We'll talk about them before we move on. The other retirement was Johnny Hendricks, former welterweight champion of the world. What's your thoughts on Johnny Hendricks' retirement? Is it a good time for the guy to retire? He's had some bad times recently.
I think Brad Nowitzki?
Brad Nowitzki?
The USADA guy?
Oh, Jeff Nowitzki.
Wow, I butchered that. I think he sent them a pink slip.
Really? Because of USADA?
Not really. Jesus. I'm trying to be like subtle with my shit. It's shit bad. It's awful, my joke. Anyway, I'm just saying that it's so obvious, man. Now, people used to say I was crazy because he didn't look like, Muscle Beach shit. Fucking
sure.
Right up my triceps. But like,
he was a strong dude.
That's not what
like
juice does.
Yeah.
It's not what it does. It doesn't cut you up. Steroids do not cut you. Clenbuterol will. I know what all that shit does. I have to. It's part of the gig.
Yeah.
It's not because I'm a big. Look at me. I'm obviously not fucking all juiced up, but everyone knows he was juicing.
Yeah.
It's not a secret anymore. Bye. Later.
Fair enough.
He almost got a fucking cheap win over George, and it was bullshit. He signed an agreement, man. This is the thing. It's a man code thing. It's not about steroids. Steroids by themselves don't bother me that much. I don't give a fuck, really. It was he agreed to fight and do voluntary VADA for USADA, right? To do that, and as George did. But George did it for the Diaz fight. George did it for fights you don't even know about. Condit did it for that fight. Wow. Voluntary drug administration. Right, so he could get the knock on the door before USADA. George signed up for that, and he got Johnny to agree to it because all the guys that were working with adultery were allegedly, nefarious there. So he agreed to it and then didn't go through with it. Man code. It was bullshit. It was like breach of contract. And then when George got mad about it backstage after the fight, Dana and everyone told him basically shut the fuck up. That's what happened. So now I've told the complete story, I think. There's more, but, everyone knows enough. So, good riddance.
Felipe Aranch also retired after his loss on the weekend. There was another question there that popped up before I moved on. So, if you're willing to answer, do you guys agree that Dana leaving the spot at this point is more likely to be positive for the UFC, or do you think that they depend too much on him as a personality?
Ooh,
Dana White.
That's hard.
It's a tough one to answer, isn't it?
I think what we're seeing now is how important two people were. Because Frank, we don't know. Frank was so behind the scenes, sure. Right? But Lorenzo, big time. And Silva. Joe Silva,
matchmaker.
Yeah, I think Dana, in what made that about that question was the face of the promotion thing. Yeah. Right? Dana's become this caricature of a caricature, almost. Yeah. Right? So, is it better? I don't know, man. Who steps in? His job is not an easy job. No. As much as I could be anti-Dana sometimes, all the time. I don't know if it would help anything. Who steps in and all of a sudden it's... Because you ever see like Shelby in there? He looks goofy. You know what I'm saying? Mm. Like a lot of people in that role, like Scott Coker looks real goofy. Think so? Weigh-ins. I just think he looks goofy, like he looks out of place.
He's a different, it's like different type of promoter, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just he's like a beta male,
Wow. Okay.
Nice enough guy. He's got more money than me. Who gives a shit? But he's gonna separate the fighters. Yeah. You need a certain kind of guy to do that job, man.
Here's a question: over the last 3 years, say 3 years, what has Dana's main role been with the UFC? Like before that, like Dana used to do everything. He used to promote the cards. He used to do the post-fight pressers. He's kind of gone back to that a little bit. But over the past 3 years, he's kind of pulled back on all. He's pulled back a little bit on that kind of stuff.
I think because behind the scenes they've piled on. You know, he's not working for his friends anymore. He's working for strangers, essentially. I think that's it. Yeah. Honestly, I think that's part of it anyway. Yeah. It's tough to say. Him and I haven't always seen eye to eye on things. So
yeah, it's the whole point of the question, I suppose, would it be a positive or negative if he left the UFC, and do you think they depend on him too much?
I got that vibe, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't hate, I just don't tend to agree with him usually.
Yeah, he is entertaining at times, though.
What's that?
He can be entertaining.
He's the most important guy, ever. Yeah. Know him, know me. I mean, I'm not stupid. Yeah. It's just that he says stupid shit and it annoys me. I don't like fabricated facts. That annoys me. I don't like the way he's done friends of mine dirty and me dirty. I was supposed to work for them, don't forget. And the reason I didn't is because of him. And if anyone wants to go on a dig deep, go on Twitter and look for me and Dana having a conversation. You'll figure it out.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but you're going to have to go back a long time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There's apps for that, I think.
That was a public fallout, which is fucking horseshit.
That's weird.
Anyway, that was so unprofessional of him. I was a nothing at the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I'm still that arguably, but it's kind of
no.
You know what I'm saying? No, it's just it's immaterial. The point being is I understand. I get his relevance, but I also get why he annoys people. So the answer is it's impossible for me because I'm going to interject me into it. I can't not. But I don't know that it gets better without him, but I don't know that it gets better with him either. It's it's fucking impossible to answer for me.
Very hard to answer.
I just don't know, I just told you a lot of shit. I just don't have a yes or no.
Yeah.
It seems cop-out-ish, but it's not.
The one thing I will say is that his stamp is still clearly on the UFC quite a bit, even though he's pulled back. If you look at Dana White looking for a fight, his name is on that for a reason. Or Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, his name is on that for a reason. Money, but also there's a reason why they say Dana White, because people do pay attention to that. So, if the UFC did lose him, they'd certainly lose something, but I don't know if it's necessarily, a huge amount,
I feel like you'd have to put somebody known into that role.
Yeah, I agree. It's a weird one with a Chael Sonnen or something, that kind of talker, somebody who's a good promoter. I don't think a business guy would do well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's weird that you say that, because I was just thinking that when I saw his savage takedown of someone that happens to have my name. I don't know how. He's not from Ireland. That guy. Him and Chael had a little back and forth or something. Chael just verbally destroyed him, as far as I'm concerned, because everything Chael said was pretty well on. And I realized at that moment, man, this guy gets it. He gets the business.
He does
so well. And he's so fucking smart. Chael wasn't the best fighter. He's one of the most famous ever.
He never lost a round, as he says.
But yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
I like Chael. Sometimes I hate his trolling. I mean, sometimes he annoys me, but he'd be good. The ultimate fuck you would be like a Randy Couture, a classy guy,
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that could do it.
There is, but I do think that
I'd want them to have some fame or some,
Yeah, and a bit of an edge, I think.
Yeah, no Pat Miletich fame, not that.
No,
another level up.
Yeah, I agree.
No offense to Pat Miletich, but.
Yeah, no offense, but yeah, I agree. It's
you know what I mean? You need a figurehead.
Exactly. That's the one thing that Dana White wasn't the button-up suit that a lot of other promotions had, and that's the reason why the UFC kind of had a bit of personality at the time.
Yeah. In ways it was cool, especially in the beginning before he started playing dirty pool at Tad,
Yeah.
He was just kind of a dick to some of his fighters. I didn't know as much back then, so there might have been more of it than I know now. But it worked either way. It was just drama. The Tito and Chuck era. There was a lot of that's kind of when it all started. That and the Ultimate Fighter, Yeah. And he's paramount in both of those. So.
Yeah.
Hard question to say yes or no to. I don't know that I want to see him gone. I'm not asking for his head.
No, me neither. Yeah, weird one. Other big news that wasn't in the UFC. Lyoto Machida signed with Bellator. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I put that in the recycle bin and emptied it.
Yeah, not a fan?
Yeah, I don't care.
No?
Nope.
Why?
I don't know. I just never been that high on that guy.
Explain, Brendan.
What do you? Okay. What's his most impressive win against a guy under 40?
Rashad at the time.
Got any others?
Ryan Bader, Mousasi.
Wow.
Ryan Bader and Mousasi.
Mousasi's impressive, but was the fight, was it so dominant?
It was quite boring, actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Interesting.
I just think because he was different, because he happened to be a TMA, traditional martial arts guy, and got anointed. He was the anointed one. The Machida era. How many people get the blank era? Khabib's 26-0, hasn't lost around in the UFC. You didn't hear the fucking Khabib era. You heard he was an amateur. Let's do some easy math there, right? I think the rabble-rouser or rebellious nature of myself factors into this a little, because he's clearly talented. He's clearly a Hall of Famer. I'm not as high on him as some. That's all. I'm not serious about like, I don't care. I watch his fights. I've never been like, oh, Machida's fight. Fuck yeah. You know?
I understand that. Yeah.
That's all. I'm being honest, you know? Yeah. And he's one of very few I would even really say that about. But.
Yeah. It's definitely a name that Bellator have picked up. Like, I think Bellator signing Machida, announcing Mousasi versus Rory, and announcing this tournament, I think it's a kind of a good package move in the week for Bellator. Yeah.
Well, they've kept on to Lima. They signed Rory. MVP's good. That Aaron Pico kid is going to be a fucking killer. I was watching some more film on him. My God. And Freddie Roach speaks of him like he's Pacquiao, for Christ's sake. It's insane. Which is insane for a wrestler. I mean, what? He's like 20. That kid, great sign. Bellator's doing some things right, but there's something amateurish about it. I can't put my finger on.
Yeah.
I agree. Someone accused me of like hating Mousasi recently. It's like, no, man, I put him 3. Of all the 185ers in the world, I put him at 3.
Yeah.
You know? Is that dismissing somebody? The third best of 7 billion? It's pretty fucking good, no? Shit. Yeah. Sorry. He's very good.
Yeah, it's quality. There was some other big news relating to UFC 226. It was Daniel Cormier. He was on the MMA Hour. Or no, he was actually on Ariel Helwani's MMA show. Ooh, missed that one.
Oh, weird, huh?
Yeah. And he was talking about the 2 fights he would love to have after Stipe Miocic. It was 2 dream fights to end out his career. One was Brock, and the other was Jones for the third time.
He just wants to disrupt that fight.
Yeah, probably.
No. I mean, maybe.
Yeah,
right?
maybe.
DC's like 40, you know?
Yeah. He's coming to an end.
Surprise.
Yeah.
What's that?
He's coming to the end of his career, for sure.
Yes, absolutely, and I think he knows that. I think he probably wants to sail out at heavyweight if he can, too.
Probably, yeah.
So if, let's say, he beats Stipe, which he very well can. I'm not saying I'm picking him, but he could win. I think the Brock fight might be a bad idea, honestly. I don't know, though.
I don't know.
That fight's interesting.
Yeah.
Brock is so much bigger.
Yeah.
You know? And wrestling-wise, skill-wise, like MMA wrestling-wise, DC couldn't get Jones down. I think Brock could.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know what am I supposed to say about it? Like, do I think it's awesome? DC versus Brock bores me.
Yeah.
For some reason. I don't know why. I don't get up for that. Him against Jones for an 85th time kind of bores me too. So it's just kind of like non-news to me. I'm like, eh.
Does the fact that
he's gonna just win again? Like, what's he gonna beat John now?
Yeah. Does the fact that DC and Jones, I suppose both times were so dominant, although the first one wasn't as dominant as the second.
Second was a massacre.
Yeah, well, like in the end.
No, DC did well in the first, but the way it ended was like.
Yeah.
And John clearly can do steroids the rest of his career, so he's gonna.
Yeah.
He's been caught 48 times. He's still in the UFC.
Yeah.
I had a cheeseburger at Wendy's. Look at the ingredients. Oh, fucking sustanon. The fuck. The free passes he gets are just obviously he's a cash cow. Though if that were Yair Rodriguez, let's say, a prospect rather, it's just bullshit. But I just think he has Cormier's number here too. But Jones Lesnar, that's fascinating.
Yeah. That's a fight that people have been talking about for a long, long time.
I know.
A long, long time.
Because it's kind of like the most talented big guy we've ever seen who's fought thin but can get big, right? You can definitely pack on some mass against the what if guy.
Yeah.
They're both the what if guy, but for different reasons in a way.
Yeah.
Brock's the what if guy because he went and did some acting basically for a long time, some very physical acting. I don't mean to disparage the WWE. Those guys are they're fucking talented. It's not my thing. I don't get it from a entertainment perspective. I respect them as people, as athletes, whatever you want to call it. But it's not MMA. It's just not. Obviously. So but if Brock had if the money was there, right, when he got out of college and he finished up at Minnesota, I think he lost once or twice in his whole college career, and he went straight to Jackson Wink or TriStar. Can you fucking imagine?
That guy would be he's already a monster, but that guy would have been
he won the UFC heavyweight title already.
Yeah.
But I think he would have won it then. He might still have it now because he hasn't aged that much. He's some, as far as the one thing with Brock is I swear to you, I wish I could get in his head and convince him, let me be your striking coach for 4 months. Because all he needs to do is learn to just take a little off of it. He's telegraphing, and that is if John gets him, that's how I'll get him. He just urrs it. And the best strikers in the world are so fucking relaxed. He just has to learn to the point where it's all muscle memory and relaxation. Imagine him with good striking. No one would beat that guy.
Yeah.
Because his power is so fucking terrifying.
He does have the power.
And he moves around. Carwin had that, but Carwin had no footwork. Brock could have great footwork. He's so freaky. He's freaky.
He's a world-class athlete.
He's the freakiest of. He's the Yoel. He's that level.
The heavyweight Yoel. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a once in a lifetime kind of guy, man.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Once and ever.
Should be Floyd Mayweather. There's a political question in the chat, which we don't want to get into politics. We can't do that. But a couple of things before we.
Does it ask me who I voted for?
No. It's just
it's
just something to do with Trump and stuff like that. But I don't really want to.
Is it talking shit about Trump?
No. You can go and check. But I don't want to get into too much politics. It is kind of fight related.
Whatever it is, they can ask me on Twitter.
Yeah, it's fight related in a way. But it's yeah. A couple of things I want to just talk about before we leave. The Bama card is on tomorrow. Rhys McKee versus Terry Brazier. Check that out if you can, because that should be excellent. Rhys McKee is a guy from Northern Ireland who is very, very good. Terry Brazier has on a good run, but definitely keep an eye on him. Shy Lewis Perry. A lot of people know him. He fights as well. So decent card there. Noel actually commentated on a show called Clan Wars on, I think it was last Saturday or Sunday. Clan Wars. Yeah. It's a show from the north. It was excellent, and it got broadcast on BBC's iPlayer, which is huge for Irish MMA. So I'll leave a link in the description to talk about that. We'll leave it with this one, Brendan. Another heavyweight just left the UFC, and he's looking for a new home. Josh Barnett. Is Josh Barnett versus Fedor going to happen?
Wait, I thought he retired.
No.
Okay, so he just left the UFC?
Yes.
I could care less.
Come on, Brendan. We need to end this on a big one.
I like Josh Barnett. I don't care. I like him. He's 80. I don't care anymore. Sorry, I don't care about Fedor either, if I'm being honest.
Do you have anything positive to leave this podcast on?
I don't think I've said anything positive. I think Khabib Nurmagomedov is amazing. That's my positive spin.
That's your positive spin.
I said I'm a Conor fan. People need to fucking realize that. I'm a fan of most fighters. Some of them I'm just, when I say about them, it's just like either I feel like there's other people we should be talking about, or like in the case of Barnett, or I'll give you my reasons. Like the Machida one, it's kind of a long-winded reason, but positive note is in 2 weeks we got one of the best cards in my lifetime.
I can't wait.
Dude, that is top to bottom. And right before that, we had an Israel Adesanya fight.
Yeah.
Against a very tough opponent. And then my good friend of mine, and he's also good friends with Nick Noel, is Matt Bissett is fighting on that same, on the undercard.
Matt Bissett, he fought the UFC once already.
Yeah. He's got a great story, and he's a great dude. I probably shouldn't even have brought up that part, but he's a wonderful dude, man. Root for that guy. Yeah. He's got a great story.
And Nick Newell will fight soon in the Contender Series, which is going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, that's coming up. Yeah, root for him.
Speaking of the Contender Series, Valentina Shevchenko's sister fought in the Contender Series and looked pretty good.
She looked real good.
Yeah, man, her clinch. I'm not going to compare it to...
literally, figuratively.
Okay. Her clinch looked really dangerous. Like, it looks like it would cause a lot of problems for a lot of girls.
Valentina's got a good clinch, but the word was always that her sister had better, pure Muay Thai, so she probably got that.
Yeah, it looked
tight,
like,
you know, the hold the water in your hands kind of clench.
Exactly, yeah. With the risk of comparing it to like the Anderson Silva one, it was like that for females, as in it was like you're watching. You haven't seen females do this yet, you know.
I love it. Yeah. We don't see that enough.
Exactly.
We should saw more of it. That's awesome. So effective. It's such an effective technique. Yeah. You know, that's beautiful.
But that's it. Next week we're gonna be back on. I'll be back on Wednesday, and hopefully we'll be back with a proper show on Tuesday, and we'll talk about, as in we'll record on Monday, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then we'll put it out on Tuesday, and we'll talk a lot about 226.
Yeah, man, the whole show.
226.
Yeah.
If you haven't followed Brendan or subscribed to Brendan on YouTube, do it now, and subscribe to this channel to get more stuff. But Brendan, thanks again for coming on as always.
Always, brother. Much love to my Irish people and my people around the world.
Perfect way to end it.